Open the front of your conveyor door. Then, raise the conveyor to the topmost limit. Remove the 8 Allen bolts that hold the conveyor in place. Once they're removed, the cover should slide out and you can place it aside. This process will require us to remove the conveyor motor. To do this, loosen the 4 8mm nuts that hold the conveyor motor in place. Once the nuts have been moved back far enough, slide the motor back, and this will give us enough room to remove the rest of the nuts. Then, slide the motor all the way out and place it out of the way, preferably on top of your machine. With the conveyor motor out of the way, we can now remove the 2 tension bolts in the front of the conveyor. Then, push the pin out of the front roller and remove the roller itself. On the rear of the conveyor, loosen the 4 Allen bolts that hold the rear shaft in place. Then, pull out the shaft. Take note that the rear shaft has 3 key stocks and a pin. When you reinstall the shaft, you'll have to line up the key stocks and make sure that the pin slides smoothly into the inner bearing. Next, remove the 7 bolts alongside the conveyor assembly. This will allow us to drop the conveyor belt and the conveyor plate. Also, if it was not removed before, you can now remove the rear roller. Before reinstalling, make sure you apply grease to the inside of the rollers, the bushings, and the front and rear shafts. This will prevent wear on the parts. Once you have your replacement parts, start by lining up your rear roller and shaft. Make sure you have your replacement belt around that roller, and that the bushings don't slide down when installing. When the pin slides into the inner bearing, use the Allen bolts to finish installing the shaft. Make sure you thread the bolts evenly until they are tight. Then, mount the front roller and slide the pin through. When mounting the conveyor plate, make sure the slot on the plate lines up with the grooves on the belt. Then, line up the holes on the plate with the holes on the conveyor assembly and install the bolts, along with the front roller. Rotate the front pin until you can line up the hole and install the tension bolts. With an 8 kilogram weight, check the tension on the belt. If the tension is too loose or too tight, this will affect the final result of your workpiece. Any adjustments that need to be made should be done evenly on the 2 tension bolts in the front of your conveyor. Reinstall the motor by placing it in a comfortable position and lubricating the inside. Then, line up the keystock and install the nuts. Once you've secured the motor, then mount the conveyor cover and tie in the 8 Allen bolts that hold it up.